Hey, this is Bridget Danner with Functional Detox Products, and I'm here to talk about a big confusing topic, which is your digestion. So if you've had chronic digestive problems, and I'm right there with you, I've been there as well, it can just feel like nothing works, like nothing makes it better. You don't know which foods bother you. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason. The more you get to know your gut and what it needs and how to take care of it, all the components, it really can get better. So today I'm going to give you a bit of an overview, some examples, and a little special focus on how stress and conversely how meditation can affect your gut. So where do we start? Actually, we can start up in your nose and mouth. So when we digest, actually smelling foods helps turn on our digestive juices. So there's some benefit in cooking at home, eating slowly and not eating on the run. And then in your mouth, chewing is really important for digestion too. You want to break down the food and also stimulate the whole process. So taking your time to eat, not guzzling down a bunch of liquids during your meal is a great start and great habits to get into. Personally, I eat way too fast sometimes, so it's good to actually put your fork down between bites and just slow things down. Second, let's go to the stomach. So the stomach has hydrochloric acid, which that production can decrease with age and also be affected by things like H. pylori infection. But that's an environment that's very hot, so to speak, and a lot of digestion should be happening. Sometimes it may not be, again, with aging, or even when there's been like a brain injury, and then the kind of the signaling and the motility are not quite there. So that's kind of the first area to check. Then we move into the small intestine where a lot of the absorption takes place. You may have heard of SIBO happening, which is like a bacterial infection of the small intestine, or SIFO, which is a fungal infection. This area should not be having this overgrowth and infection. And sometimes that develops because of poor motility, because you've had IBS for a long time, or again, you've had a head injury or something like that, which has allowed motility to kind of slow and some of these things to grow into that region. It also can be stimulated from like a sudden stomach or stomach bug kind of infection. And then moving on to the large intestine, that's a very bacterial rich area where there's still some like sorting taking place, but the bacteria are actually making nutrients. There's a lot of rich things happening there. Sometimes we focus too much these days on the large intestine and just take a probiotic when it's not really that simple. There's a whole balance that needs to happen in the intestines with as far as bacteria go. And then there also is a mucosal lining throughout the intestines that houses white blood cells and important immune markers, and that is very protective. And that layer can decrease with stress, with chronic stress, especially, I've seen it in gazillions of clients. The vast majority of our clients, when we test their gut, this lining is very small. So they're not getting the immune protection. They're potentially, getting leaky gut, things kind of passing through there. We can talk more about that. But that mucosal lining is really important. And when our bodies are in a sense of safety and we're getting more rest and our immune system can function, that layer will be richer. So that can be an important component of the gut to restore. And if it's not there, you might be sensitive to a lot of foods, having like just kind of IBS patterns. Let's see what else. And you may just feel kind of scratched up from what you eat, or you may not notice any of these things in particular, but upon testing, we'll see, okay, yeah, that component is going on, is at risk. And then that can also kind of be developing from having infections and imbalances in the gut over time. And that layer is just sort of, it can't keep up. The immune system kind of can't keep up. You're also potentially not getting the right nutrients to grow and build that mucosal layer. So that's just giving you a little bit of a sense of what's happening in your gut. they have shown that stress can either, very suddenly or more insidiously over time affect your gut health, the bacterial population, that mucosal layer, tendency to have IBS. And then conversely, if you have an unhealthy gut, that can lead to mood disorders because, again, I said some important things are manufactured in the intestines, or the brain gut axis is very potent. So the nutrients and the protection that is healthy of a healthy gut will go to a healthy brain, and an unhealthy gut leads to potentially an unhealthy brain and more anxiety and depression and mood disorders. So there's benefit in learning more about your gut, rebuilding your gut, and there's also benefit in working with your own mood and your own mental state to benefit the gut. So I have a blog about it with a little more details spilled out below, but I'll share one tip, which is mindfulness meditation. So any type of meditation you want to get in is fantastic, but I would encourage you to do it every day. Studies have shown that regular meditation has improved gut health markers. So the regular is the key word. So even if you set a timer for 5 minutes once a day, you're starting the habit of consciously calming down your thoughts, quieting your mind. And mindfulness meditation simply means being aware of what's around you. So you can sit in your yard, for instance, hear birds, hear a truck going by, look at what's happening, in the sky, all around you. And that gets your brain into the present moment rather than being lost in thoughts, which, that overthinking, as we say in Chinese medicine, damages spleen qi or damages your digestion. So it's just starting, if you're just starting out, just taking some baby steps to create more peace in your life so that starts to become more of the norm and that your body senses that calm and rest and can be in rest and digest mode. So if we're always spinning in fight or flight, we are not resting and digesting. That system will take a hit. So I hope that's helped. Would love to hear your comments below.